Alright, so we've got our model of 1917 all torn down. It's been in a degreaser tank for a couple of days, so everything's nice and dry and clean. I haven't bead blasted or done anything yet, just doing a preliminary inspection. I wanted to see how much of this was proper Eddystone parts and just give a general overview of the parts. The wood has been given its initial cleaning. I'll go over that in a minute, give you a few details on that. You'll remember how dirty that was. But overall, everything looks good. There's no major surprises. The receiver, nothing's pitted. The receiver looks kind of nice. It's got a, I don't know if you can see it in these, there you can see it quite well. You can see the nice two-toning when they parkerized it. This gun had been rebuilt at some time. It had Canadian markings on the wood, so I'm suspecting that it was reparkerized by the Canadian Army. Hard to say, but anyway, you can see the two-toning, the two different colors where the front of the receiver and the back of the receiver were hardened, and the middle wasn't hardened, so that's why it's a bit lighter gray than the rest of it. That's normal on these 1917 receivers. I'm not sure what it's going to look like when I re-blue it. This one's in for a bluing. It's going to get that kind of a dull military bluing, not the real high polish bluing, but give it a gentle glass bead blast and then put it in black oxide, so it'll be properly blued. They weren't all that shiny. You can see that two-toning again right here. So, like I say, no pitting or anything. Things in real nice shape. Up at the front here, you can see where whoever parkerized it was a little bit lazy, and they didn't remove the front sight, which is that's not very smart, because when I did remove the front sight, that little channel in there was just filled with oil and grease, and there was all kinds of oil and grease trapped underneath this front sight that could have easily bled out during the parkerizing process and could have polluted the bath and given me less than nice results. So I try to take as much apart as I humanly can. So unless something's riveted together, and even then I try to drive the oil out with heat and thinners. And most of this gun is Eddystone. There were a couple odd stray Winchester parts in it, but not too much. This band was a Winchester. I probably just use it as is. I'll check some of my spare parts. I did a couple of these a few years ago, and I accumulated a few odd spare pieces. So I'll go over what I've got and see if I've got any Eddystone parts, just to make it a little bit more proper. Although 90% of it is Eddystone. I can't tell on the bolt. They ground the bolt. They put another serial number on that bolt. So obviously it's out of another weapon. So, but the original, I see right there what maybe could be the original Eddystone, part of the Eddystone stamp, but they ground this, so they hit it with their grinder and obliterated some of it. So I may replace this bolt. I've got another bolt that might be in a little better shape, because this one here, if you notice, the ball is pitted fairly badly, and that would be a tough thing to fix, nicely. So we'll see. If those pits aren't too deep, I should be able to file them out of there and keep that ball looking nice and round. But we'll look in our spare parts and see what we got. I'm hoping I might have a better bolt than this, but if not, we'll go with it. We can clean it up. And I'm a little bit concerned too about this extractor, because it's got a big bend in it, like a kink. You can see that kink right there, and you can feel it. It's just how badly bent it is right there, and you can tell it's been rubbing. That's been rubbing on something. So I'm going to try and straighten that a little bit, get that kink down a little bit. Hopefully I don't snap this thing, but I've got another extractor, so, but I'll see if I can save this from cleaning this up, because I don't want to go to all the trouble to re-blue it and then have that spot wear through the first time you cycle it. So I'll try and get that hump down a little bit. Everything else is looking good. There's no major wear on anything. There's no pitting on anything. Everything is just in excellent condition. This Must have been a bit of a low mileage gun when it was reparkerized. The bore is absolutely beautiful in it. It's a 1918 dated barrel. Butt plate is nice. There's no, once again, zero pitting. Everything is nice. I took everything apart just so that we don't get any stray oil coming out. It's an Eddystone butt plate. Like I say, most of the parts are Eddystone. This piece here is a Remington. It's a Remington right there, but not, you know, almost everything else is Eddystone. So anyway, she's going to look good blued. We'll polish everything, bead blast and polish everything. Got a bit of damage on this trigger housing. You can see right there where it's dented. So right along that edge you can see where it's dented. So I'm going to straighten that out. That's not a big problem. Once again, no pitting, no rust I have to fight on that. That piece is Eddystone. The floor plate's Eddystone. Once again, no pitting. So yeah, I'm real happy. Everything is in nice shape. The wood came out pretty good for just its initial cleaning. If you remember how dirty that wood was, and now it's, you know, no sandpaper, nothing has touched this yet. Just you know, I just cleaned it. That's all, and got some of the dents to pop out. I boil my wood. I put in boiling water, so you can see how the grain is starting to open up. And that's a nice piece of wood. You can tell how good that's going to look once it's restained. And a lot of the dings pop out. I mean, some of the deep ones, you know, where the fibers are actually broken, you know, you're not going to get those out. That's going to need a little bit of filler. But this is going to go in the tank one more time, get boiled one more time. So there's more stuff that's going to pop out. But that piece came out really good. We got our upper hand guard, and once again, it came out really, really nice. It looks good. That's going to be a good looking gun when she's done. Nice wood, beautiful wood. So you can see how nice and clean that boiling gets it. I don't know if you remember how dirty some of that wood was, but it looks really good now. The stock came out excellent. Stock had lots of issues, had lots of dings and problems, but it's really looking good. You can still see quite plainly. I'll get this camera to focus a little bit. You can see that cartouche, that Canadian military cartouche. Let's see if I can get this camera doesn't always want to autofocus very well. Let's see if I can get it to focus in. No, then we'll go slow. A lot of the dings have popped out. Tons of them have popped out. There's still a few. As I said earlier, I'm going to leave that nail in there if I can, because they're in there so tight. Oh yeah, camera's focusing now. They're in there so tight, those pins, that it's almost guaranteed you're going to do some damage to the stock trying to get it out. So as long as I can sand this stock a little bit without that nail being in my way, then we'll be good to go. But you see how clean everything comes, you know, nice and sharp. You know, none of that was, you know, damaged in the boiling. This stock's never been sanded. You can tell how sharp everything still is. It's never had a piece of sandpaper to it. But you can see how nice that boiling works. You know, it's not perfect. It's still got some damage, but it's got a lot less damage than it used to have. Let's see now if I can get that camera to cooperate a little bit. You can see that Canadian cartouche. Yeah, you can see it pretty good. So you can see cartouches survive the boiling pretty good. You know, we got some, still got a little bit of grease and dirt in the wood back here. You can see it, how black it is. So it's going to need another visit. There was another Canadian cartouche right there, and that looks quite nice. Remember yesterday I pointed out, or a couple of days ago, I pointed out to you how dirty the inside can get. Just look at how clean that is now from boiling. It's just boiling, that's it. There's no sandpaper went in there, nothing. Just strictly nice hot soapy water. Look at how clean that channel comes out. That barrel channel is beautiful. So you can imagine how nice, after you do this, how nice glue sticks, stain, tongue oil, whatever you want to use, it just goes right into that wood. This wood is as clean as we can get it. So, like I say, still a few dings, That serial number survived just fine. 640253. So yeah, it's going to be nice. So one more session in the boiling tank with the wood, and the wood will be ready for any filling or gluing, or although I haven't seen a single crack. I don't see one crack anywhere. So it's a nice set of wood. But we'll go ahead and we'll get all the other parts, get the metal all polished, and fix a few dings. Like I say, that trigger guard needs a little bit of work, and this sling swivel here, that might be a little hard to see. I straightened it already a tiny little bit, but it's been banged, and that area right there, that corner was pushed in, and I couldn't even get a screw to go in there. So I opened that up a little bit, so the screw will pass through, but you can still see it's damaged. Still see that it's beat up on that edge, so I got to still work on that, straighten that up a bit. Might add a drop of weld, but no markings on this piece. I don't know who made this one. So that's about it. Everything else looking good. That front sight, remember that front sight was bent a little bit. The one ear was bent in, you can see. So I'm going to straighten that left ear. Try to pull that left ear. You can see there how bent it is. So hopefully we don't snap it. I might even warm it up if I have to, but get that straightened. That's about it. Everything will get nice dull polish. I've got some brand new springs, unissued springs. I might throw one in just because I have some. But other than that, I'm happy. It's not missing, well, it's missing a front sling swivel. That's the only thing missing. But other than that, everything else is here. Everything else is nice. So I'll get going on this, and I'll keep you in the loop and show you how I'm coming along. Okay? Good. Thank you.